Third Eye Fitness coming at you guys. Today I'm talking about part 3 in my series for cutting for 2023. I weighed myself this morning, about 167 pounds. So this is lighter than I was expecting to be this early. Now, the things I'm doing to drop weight, I'm basically, like I mentioned in previous videos, letting the diet do most of the heavy lifting. So my calories have come down. I'm still eating about 3,200 calories a day. So calories are still decent. Still eating carbs, just less carbs than when I started the cut, and even more less than when I'm bulking. Protein consumption has gone up. So I'm eating more protein throughout the day than when I'm bulking, for certain. The way I do this and keep my sanity is I really try to focus on nutrient-dense foods. So I'm eating a lot of vegetables every day. I'm eating a lot of fruits every day, specifically low-calorie fruits such as berries and stuff. But even the higher-calorie fruits I'm still consuming as well, like bananas, pineapple, stuff like that. I'm really trying to keep myself full because I believe when you're cutting, you should enjoy the process of cutting as much as possible. It shouldn't be something that you feel like you're being tortured or you're starving yourself. If you give yourself plenty of time, you should be able to gradually decrease the calories to the point where it's not really affecting your day-to-day life. Now, I'm not really hungry throughout the day yet. I think that's because I'm eating such nutrient-dense foods and, eating still high volume of foods, even if the calories of those foods are lower. But I am feeling it in the gym. Now, I'm still able to hit my numbers, which I'm super happy about. So my strength hasn't gone down. I just don't feel as good hitting those numbers, if that makes sense. So the energy in the gym is not as high as it is when I'm consuming, 1,000 grams of carbs plus, right? Obviously. And I want to throw it out there that part of that weight loss is water weight. Because my carbs have come down, I'm not holding on to as much water. So it's not necessarily all fat loss. We'll see how low I get during this cut. I'm definitely not where I want to be. If I hit where I want to be before my end date, then I'll try to go into a homeostasis state, which basically means I'm not gaining or losing weight, just maintaining that level. And I'll do that throughout the summer. So yeah, we're in the end of February right now. I wanted to give you guys an update, let you guys know how it's going. I started incorporating cardio. Now the cardio I'm doing is minimal. It's probably 3 days a week. Stair steppers are my favorite. I'm only doing like 15 minutes. I do it after my lift, so I save my energy for my lifts, specifically my heavy compound lifts that I always recommend you do as well. And then, when I'm totally depleted, I'll get on the stairs for 15 minutes. I'm only doing that 3 days. The carbs I am eating are generally lower glycemic carbs, meaning they're not spiking my insulin as heavy. So my rice consumption has gone down. My grain consumption has gone down. And instead I'm eating more fruits. I'm eating more fibrous foods such as quinoa, stuff that's really gonna stay in my stomach longer, keep me satisfied longer, as opposed to these higher glycemic foods such as rice and pasta, where, at least for me, they fill you up, but then you're hungry again a couple hours later. So, really trying to incorporate these tricks will help a long way with your cut. I am leaning out. It's kind of hard to tell from the video. I'll post some photos, as I always do, of how I'm looking now. The changes are small, as they should be. I'm not trying to rush this process. I'm really trying to enjoy this process as much as I can. Still hit my numbers in the gym. Really listening to my body when it comes to rest days. So I'm not one of those people that has a designated rest day, right? So if I feel good, you know, after going to the gym 3-4 days in a row, then I'm going to hit that 5th day in a row. If my body's feeling worn down, tired, sore, I will incorporate a rest day then. So they're random, the rest days that I throw in. And some days, I mentioned in previous videos, I have one day designated for abs, calves, forearms. So it's kind of a accessory day, I would call it. I use those days as an active rest day as well. So that's separate from a rest day where I'm totally taking off from the gym. But if I feel like I need to break apart my split, I'll throw in that ab day during that time. So the way my split's looking right now I'm thinking of changing this in March, because I've been doing this split since the beginning of the year, January 2023. And it's an interesting split. It's the first time I've ever done this. It is circling around on the internet. For natties especially, I think it can be beneficial because of the frequency you're hitting muscles, but it's basically push-pull, right? But legs are every day. So on push day, I'm hitting quads, calves, glutes, chest, front delts, triceps. And then on pull, I'm hitting hamstrings, glutes, calves, back, biceps, rear delts. And then I'll incorporate the lateral delts here, generally on both days, depending on how they're feeling. For me specifically, and I know a lot of people walking around in this culture, the front delt gets more developed than the rear delts. So you don't really need to focus so much on the front delts. I do super lightweight guys, like, 10 pounds, right? 20 reps working these front delts. So I'm not really trying to get them more overdeveloped, I'm really trying to develop the rear delts, which are the hardest of the deltoids to develop, in my opinion, and the side delts, and the front delts are last in that order, in terms of priority. So yeah, I do lightweight. I really just am trying to shape them out, and that's why I do such lightweight. Plus, you need to be careful of your rotator cuff. Anyone who knows me, I've had rotator cuff injuries most of my physical career. That's not been from lifting. I've never hurt myself seriously from weightlifting, and I'm so proud to say that. I believe that's because I am really in touch with my body. I know how far I can push myself, and I don't try to overdo it. And like I've mentioned before, I never try to 1-rep max. So if I can get something for 5 reps, that's good. I don't need to up the weight more and get it for 2 reps. Like, I will try to get that same weight up into the 8 to 12 rep range. And then once that's there, I'll up the weight and get that new heavier weight to that 5 rep range. I'm not a power lifter. I'm not a strong man. I still lift for strength some of those days, right? So as I mentioned with my split, I hit push-pull twice a week. That's 4 days. One of those sets of push-pull is a strength day, meaning I'm shooting for that 5 reps, 8 reps. And then the other day of that same, right? So like one push-pull strength, the second push-pull would be more of a hypertrophy day. So that's where I'm shooting for 12, 15, even as high as 20 reps, guys, for smaller muscle groups, because I'm really just trying to get blood flow in there, really trying to develop that mind-body connection that I think is so important, and it just kind of shocks the system. So that has worked best for me. I still have my strength days, and then I have my hypertrophy days too, where I'm just trying to get nutrients in there, get blood flow in there. And yeah, so March, I'm thinking of changing things just because it's so much volume. I'm getting so tired lifting in the gym that I might go back to like a push-pull legs, or I really do like hitting legs every time I'm in the gym. Legs are a weak point for me. They get super strong. It's hard for me to get size in my legs. Some of that's just genetics. I have low or high muscle insertions, like for my calves and stuff, NBA player calves, where my calves insert pretty high. My upper legs are decent, and as you guys know, I've been getting this leg sleeve, which has also prevented me from lifting as much legs as I would like, because I'm not about to, mess up piece of art just so I can hit the gym. But yeah, around 167 pounds this morning. You know, I always weigh myself on an empty stomach after I use the restroom in the morning. No food, no fluids in me. You know, basically as light as I can be. And you don't have to weigh yourself like that, but I do recommend weighing yourself at the same time each day. And in my opinion, doing it first thing in the morning, you're going to get the most accurate weight, you know, because when I get a bunch of food in me, I can be significantly heavier, right? And so to me, it's like I'm not trying to weigh my food. I'm trying to weigh what I am. So empty stomach first thing in the morning, after I use the restroom, no food yet, no fluids yet, and I do that consistently. Now, I don't use the scale as a be-all, end-all. I think the scale can tell you if you're in a deficit or not. If you're like me and you're not tracking every calorie right now, you need that scale to see if you're going up and down or down. But I'm using really the eye test, how I look in the gym, and yeah, the fullness has gone down, right? Because my carbs are lower, so I don't look as big, especially with clothes on, you know. And that's part of the game, especially for natties. Like when you start cutting, you know, you may not even look like you lift deep in your cut. You know, when you get a pump, you got the right angles, yeah, you'll look like a freak. But when you're just walking around flat, I mean, you'll feel flat because your carbs are low. You know, you're not having that swollenness in the muscles that you would have when you're consuming higher amounts of calories, specifically higher amounts of carbs. So yeah, the proteins I'm eating, still lean proteins. I eat a lot of fish, a lot of tuna, a lot of ground turkey. I'll eat chicken occasionally. And yeah, I'm just plugging along. So I'm probably not going to drop my calories too much more because I seem to be losing a good amount of weight at a good pace, that I'm probably going to keep it at that 3,000 to 3,100 calories a day. And then if I see stalls, or, you know, my body starts going into that homeostasis state that we're talking about, or I don't gain or lose, I might drop the baby even more. Now, I try not to drop my calories too much, especially too quick. It's important to try to hold on to as much muscle as you can during this cut. And that's why I recommend not only gradually decreasing your calories, gradually increasing cardio, but also lifting heavy, trying to keep those numbers the same. You know, that will trigger your body into thinking like, okay, I need this size to be able to lift this weight. He's putting this type of weight on me regularly. I got to be able to hold on to some of this stuff so I can continue lifting that. You know, your body is very adaptable to stress. We've evolved a lot why we hold on to body fat as well, right? So we hold on to body fat because, you know, we don't know how long it's going to be until we get our next meal. You know, those days are done, but evolution still tells us that. So, you know, that's why there's what people call stubborn body fat. For males, it's, you know, the love handles, the lower abs, lower back. For me, that's definitely where I hold it. And that's going to be the last place that it goes, guys. So meaning it's not going to be towards the end of my cut where those are gone, right? Now, with a good pump and my muscles all swollen up, a lot of my love handles have decreased. I'm slowly starting to see it. Spot fat loss doesn't exist. As far as I know there's some studies that are coming out that are kind of showing this. I don't believe, from my research and growing up into the fitness field, that spot fat loss, spot reduction is really a thing. Or if it is a thing, it's so minuscule, it shouldn't even be worth your time. Focus on losing body fat all over your body by being in a calorie deficit, eating the right foods, and, you know, you'll see certain parts of your body lean out faster than others. So my arms get lean first, calves will get veiny, and then, you know, as I get deeper in, it'll start going into my chest and my abs. But generally it's the torso for me where the body fat comes off last and comes on first. You know, it kind of sucks, but we deal with the genetics that we're dealt with. You know, I wouldn't trade my genetics for anyone's. You know, I'm not here to sound egotistical. It's just I'm proud of the body that I've built, and I wouldn't want to switch what I've learned about myself with anybody else. So yeah, I mean, the theme of today's video is just really enjoying the process of cutting. Don't look at it as torture or starvation. And if you are looking or feeling like that's what it is, you got to go back to the roots and fix some stuff, because you can do this in a way that's not torture. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll update you guys in a few weeks. If you have any questions for me, feel free to drop them in the comments. I appreciate you guys liking and subscribing. You help this channel grow. Third Eye Fitness out.